6 ways to non-dual. Number 6 is the mystical. We are accidentally raised with the idea that our thinking brain is us. And that's just simply not true. The thinking brain is actually just a very small part of our perception. And by the thinking brain, I'm talking about the language that goes through your head, the stories that go through your head, what, a scientist or an artist really would call the left brain thinking, the analytical thinking brain. But we actually have this huge area of perception that's available to us without the thinking language part being necessary. And this is actually the part of our brain we live in it all the time. It's the way, like say you're driving a car and you're going to pull into a parking lot. You just drive. You don't think, okay, I got to go 1 degree to the left and then I have to, adjust my wheel. You just like drive into the parking lot, to the parking space. And it's a perfect example because you are not your car. Your car is way bigger than you, but as you're driving this car, you have this sense of where its wheels are, how long it is, how wide it is, and you just have this sense of how you can just come in, you just turn the wheel right here, drive into the parking space. It's not your left brain at all. It's this thing that we call the right brain. It's spatial. It observes things. You can almost say it's by feel that you're able to do that. Another exercise I like to do to emphasize that everything in our brain isn't just this chattery, logical brain. Where is your spatula? So you probably didn't think, oh, it's in the third drawer from the right underneath the sink or something like that. Or, oh, it's in a thing sitting on top of the counter. You probably just pictured it, spatula. And so say you're cooking. I need my spatula. You just go over and you get your spatula. It's this visual, it's such a natural part of yourself that you probably don't even notice it's there. It's useful. You use it all day long. One of my best stories about these different sides of the brain is Jill Bolte Taylor. She's the one who did the TED Talk on my stroke of insight. What happened to Jill was that she was a brain scientist. So this is what's so fascinating about this story. She was a brain scientist. So she pictured things in terms of an actual brain and how a brain worked. And she had a stroke that took out the part of her brain that creates language. And she was awake and aware while it happened. And not only that, she had this scientific knowledge. So she understood, I'm having a stroke. And she sat there and watched what happened when all language disappeared out of her head. And all she was just total perception. See, she could see just the interconnection of all molecules. She was completely incapacitated. It is not a healthy state. It took her like 8 years to come back, and then she came back and was able to just give this really clear explanation of the difference between this talking, yakking brain and what we call the mystical brain. So reaching the non-dual state can happen by just really learning to access this mystical brain that you have. And you don't even access it, it's always going. It's always going. All you have to do is just remove your attention from the language brain and allow this mystical side of you to come forth at all times. Our thinking brain is always going to be naturally dominant just because we've been that way since birth. So there's no danger in doing this at all. Well, I hope you won't just turn into a total idiot. Please don't. But this mystical part of your brain, it's just there going along, going along. And then the logical part of your brain interprets everything that it does and puts it into order. Mystical brain sees, logical brain interprets. So you start seeing yourself more as this full, living human being. Now, one final step. You are neither of those things. Those are both just tools of perception. You are the one perceiving both of these things. And it becomes easier to acknowledge yourself if you're living in a very balanced left brain, right brain state where you can consciously go to the right, consciously go to the left, consciously let them work together. Then eventually you can see who is the one who is consciously driving this vehicle. And then you can see all sorts of things like, okay, you've got a body, right? You can go, well, I'll just demonstrate it. If I just think I want to raise my hand and don't actually do it, nothing happens, right? Raise my hand. Nothing happens. But if I just let my whole being raise my hand, like who's actually raising that hand when you're this totally integrated self? It's me. I decide to do it, and I make it happen. That's you. You're the one driving the vehicle of yourself.